Welcome back to the WCS Europe Season 1 finals for the Premier League. We are currently trying to find out who will take that final 5th place to send them off to Korea for the Season 1 Global Finals. But before we get there, let's check in with the bracket and show you where we are right now after a fabulous win by the hometown hero, TLO, winning match number 1 with hometown support as well. He will play the winner of the next match, which will be LucifroN versus BabyKnight. Spain versus Denmark in a classic Euro clash. Before we get to the game, let's check in with the players though. First of all, here's the thoughts of LucifroN.
Hello, my name is Pedro Moreno Duran. I play Terran for Team Caronte. I wouldn't say I'm the best, but I would say I'm amongst the best. My playing style, I think, is focused a lot on trying to punish my opponent for any single risk he takes by being aggressive or by being greedy, whatever. So I like to study a lot my opponents. And then just once I'm ahead, trying to don't suicide, which I did a lot in the past.
Nurcio looking down and out here in the first round. GG, well played. And LucifroN marches on forwards here.
Well, I watch a lot tournaments, so I'm more or less familiar with everyone's style. So when I'm going to play against him, I kind of know what to expect. For me, it's easier to play people I already know. But when I play someone who I don't know what to expect, I feel a bit worried. The players I wanted to avoid were 4GG, Happy and Vortex. None of them were in my group, so that was good for me. For me personally, it could have been worse if I had other players. So it was a hard group, but I wasn't that scared about it.
And his supply box is trying to push in here. MVP, this is pretty much one last-ditch effort to try and break this. Even the siege tanks aren't actually backing these Hellbats up. They all disintegrate under that firepower of the siege tanks. And LucifroN now with a massive army split. GG!
After beating MP, I was really happy actually, because of course he's MVP, he's won 4 or 5 ESLs, so yeah, it feels great.
He's EU Hero Terran and #1 maybe now?
#1.
I value a lot opinion of people who are more accomplished than me. So yes, someone like MC saying that, it's of course feels great. Well, my goal is winning, of course. Like, I know that when I lose, even if it's in the grand finals, I will be disappointed with myself at that moment. So yeah, I just want to win.
So that's LucifroN, one half of the Spanish Armada, still fighting his way through for the final place at WCS's global finals at the end of Season 1. He goes up against a man who has made a really big name for himself in the last 12 months. These are the thoughts of BabyKnight.
My name is Jon Andersen. My nickname on BattleNet is BabyKnight. I'm from Denmark, play Protoss for the team Not So Svincer. I tend to play quite aggressively. First of all, I think it's more fun, but also I think if you play very passively, you end up in some games where it can be hard to gain advantages and actually control the game. Being aggressive is actually safe sometimes. The way it works is you can gain information through aggression, plus you limit your opponent through aggression. So that's one of the reasons why I like to be aggressive too. Well, first I try to find a build that can actually be safe against anything. I try to find the builds that lose to the least stuff. PvP is a matchup where it can be super hard to find such a build, because there will just be such sharp timings that your opponent can use. I'm not that confident in PvP, although people might think differently. Like, there will always be some timing that can kill your build. That's just how it works.
Oh! What if the fungals are missing? They go down! Oh, he drops the fungal at the very last second, but only because he knew everything was going to die. Goes for it, he locks down a good amount of that army at the front, but there's not enough. So much DPS raining down from those Stalkers at the back here. Those Ultralisks are all but diminished. Gone, gone, gone.
Right after I won that game of Star Station, I was so happy. I mean, one thing is winning a game and progressing through to the round of 8, but actually playing so well and winning a game like that, like, it was just such a nice experience for me.
We've got a new lower third for him. There we go.
I guess the nickname kind of fits the situation, but I'd rather that people see me as a contender to actually win the tournament, because I think I can do that. I'm quite happy that I'm already I've secured a spot in the next Premier League. Like, I'm gonna play my best and I'm gonna try to win the whole thing. My goal for this season WCS is to win.
Well, unfortunately, he can't win WCS Europe Season 1, but he will get another shot next season. He will be back in the Premier League once more. But this season still has something in hand for both these players. The 5th place playoff match is where they both want to be against TLO. Which one will make it? Let's check in with their story so far in WCS Europe. As you can see on your screen, a flawless set of victories for Spain's LucifroN until he made the quarterfinals, where he went down incredibly after being 2-0 up 3-2 loss against 4GG. BabyKnight, on the other hand, he's also had a fantastic run. Grubby, Stefano, Naniwa and Vortex all being beaten, and that's what earned him the second coming of the name Legend Killer. And yes, we know Jae-Dong was the original killer, the original Legend Killer, but it's like the second coming or something. So we're ready. Will it be the second coming of the Legend Killer, or will it be one half of the Spanish Armada? We're about to find out, and you asked for it, so we've given you it. This is the commentary team. It's Todd and it's Apollo.
Thank you very much, Red Eye, as we're about to jump into the second semi-final here before, of course, Tilo waits. Hello, Todd.
How's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
Good.
You like your time in Germany?
Yeah, glad to be casting some Protoss again.
Yes, but will the Protoss survive?
The baby K. It's the baby K.
The baby
he always
K?
survives.
All right, well, we'll find out if he can here. Going up against LucifroN, you know these two players very well. You've played against them a lot. You know their styles, especially BabyKnight and LucifroN. I think you'd be a bit conflicted, right? Because I'm pretty sure you like LucifroN as a style, and you appreciate his gameplay. But the last Protoss, man.
Yeah, and BabyKnight is one of those Protosses who really like to play with Templars a lot. He doesn't open with Colossi as much, or at least that used to be the trend that he used a while back. I don't know if that's still the case, but LucifroN removes Neoplanet S. Why?
Any thoughts on that? You don't?
Why? Oh, why?
I don't know, man. I have absolutely no idea. Personal preference.
Yeah, personally, I feel like Star Station and Neoplanet are very hard versus Terran as Protoss, but yeah, it really comes down to your own personal preference. And
anything on that with this Vito Newkirk for BabyKnight?
Wow, I'm a little bit surprised by this as well. I mean, this is a map where Terran can drop, but compared to some other maps like Whirlwind, it's going to be easier to defend against drops on Newkirk. And I don't know, maybe he might be a little bit afraid of LucifroN since famous command center first on Newkirk, in which case at 10 minutes 30, LucifroN can have so much supply if you let him pull this one off. So that might be affecting his choice here. One thing to mention is that these players, they play each other on ladder often as well. I was talking to LucifroN a little bit before, and yeah, he mentioned it to me. So there is going to be metagame involved here, taking part in the choices they make this entire series, helping them decide their game plan as well.
All right, well, there is the handshake as these players get ready to play against each other. Well, how do the clashes of these two players, collide? How do you think it's going to shape up this series?
I don't think they have played each other that often in tournaments.
They haven't played officially in Heart of the Swarm yet. This is the first time they've met, and they've only played a few times before, like 3 series before in Wings Liberty, which LucifroN won everyone.
Yeah, so never good to have to play against a player you haven't beat before. Mentally, it's gonna be hard to be able to tell yourself, I can do it this time. Personally, if I always lose to someone, I always feel like an underdog going into a match against him. So then you need to be able to manage and tell yourself that this time it's going to be the time where you finally do it. Sometimes that's going to make you want it even more.
All right, well, let's hear some thoughts on these players before going up against each other, and we'll come back to these two in a minute.
You're going to be playing BabyKnight now. Do you have any thoughts going into this game?
Well, right now TP is my best matchup, so I'm confident that I can beat him if I play my best. So yeah, no thoughts further than that.
No thoughts about that 5th ticket to the season finals?
Well, yeah, of course, yeah, but I mean that it won't affect the way I play, that it's that on place. I will just play a best of 5 against a Protoss player and don't think further than that.
What's the key to beating BabyKnight? Playing like you normally play or adjusting to him?
I think playing like I normally play will be more important, not making any major mistakes and just playing what I feel comfortable with. That should be good.
BabyKnight, you're facing LucifroN now. Do you have a game plan against him? He's one of the better players in the tournament.
Well, it's hard for me to really have a game plan. I was more planning for Stefano or maybe for GG. I mean, I thought LucifroN might beat him, but I don't know. The thing is, when I play Happy on ladder, he's much more scary to me than LucifroN, even though LucifroN is also a really great player. So it's obviously going to be really tough, but I think I have a better chance than what I did against Happy.
So you're confident about your chances?
I'm confident, but it's going to be really tough.
Well, both players seem confident here. LucifroN claiming TVP is his best matchup. Well, here are the 5 maps. What are your thoughts on these then?
Wow, Star Station, really hard map, to be honest, I feel, for Protoss. Maybe that's because of my own style. I know that BabyKnight, as I said, he likes to play with Templars and either Charge Lords or Blink Stalkers. If he hits a 2 or 3 base timing there, if he doesn't try to take it to very late game, he's going to have a serious chance at surprising LucifroN. But if he tries to play a very long game, it's going to be so hard because LucifroN is so good at everything. Dropping his Ghost control, he's amongst the best in Europe. I think him and Happy, they micro their Ghosts like nobody else. It makes it so hard to beat them with Templars.
Well, if BabyKnight goes on Templars, we could see a fast series. We'll see. BabyKnight seems a little bit confident. Says, of course, it's going to be difficult, but we'll find out as this best of 5 is about to kick off the second semi-final to move on to the deciding final. Who gets that 5th plane ticket? Who is going to Korea to represent Europe? Let's find out. As down here, we have as the red Terran, it is Caronte's LucifroN. Going up against this guy, up in the top left. It is the blue Protoss BabyKnight.
And a new Star Station settings is only cross map. That makes it very interesting, I think. More proxy possibilities. We have to keep that in mind. It makes it more likely for players to be careful early on in the game and either play it safe or try themselves to proxy, or at least try and scout some proxies. In Protoss vs Terran these days, we don't see nearly as much proxy because as long as you get Medivacs, you're still going to get very quickly to your opponent's base as a Terran, and Protoss proxies possibilities usually will be a Stargate or Robo, and it's easy to scout. If you scout a Protoss base, you see something's missing there. A Terran now is always going to know. Wow, LucifroN very early gas. Could he open Reaper here? Wouldn't be surprised.
Well, it was a 12-12. Kind of Star Station, a map where Reapers can come in from any angle, can get out from any angle too. There's pretty much unlimited amounts of space for this. But let's talk about the biggest problem that you identified on this map, which is going to be dealing with drops. Because the Medivacs can come in from any angle. BabyKnight clearly knows this, knowing, you know, he's obviously going to be like, yeah, drops won't happen. How is he going to deal with this?
If he tries to play a long game, then a good possibility or thing to do for him would be to get a very quick blink or charge and then have lots of gateways ready to warp in units and help defense every time he gets dropped. Another possibility would be to go for a 2 base or 3 base big all-in timing, in which case you don't really let it get to drops. You're in your base defending the entire game until you go for a timing and then you try to finish your opponent.
A second barracks here, Todd.
Pretty surprised by this. LucifroN might be anticipating maybe some kind of greedy opener by BabyKnight and try to punish it from there, but what do you really punish with this? It really depends what he makes. Does he go for a reactor behind this? Does he get a tech lab and try to get some more orders? He gets a second Reaper.
A third Reaper too?
Whoa! Okay.
Lots of Reapers coming out here. So let's have a look at what Protoss players, well, this player in itself, BabyKnight will have to defend this. A Chrono Boosted Stalker out. He's got double gases with 3 in one and 2 in the other. Surely he's looking for a Mothership Core after this, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So how does that deal up against Reapers?
Not bad.
Oh, no, wow, a Robo comes down.
Yeah, very quick Robo here. And the Reaper spotted it immediately. I'm not sure if LucifroN had the time to click on it. I think it's safe to assume he did. BabyKnight is at least going to need a second Stalker very quickly here. And since he's made the Robo, he didn't have the gas to start the Mothership Core very early on. 3 Reapers might do lots of damage to him here. If they leap inside of his base and start taking out probes, it's going to be really bad for BabyKnight.
All right, well, let's find out as these Reapers are going to join together as 3. The 3 Musketeers make their way to the main base. The Stalker is at the front. The Mothership Core not even out. Where are the Reapers going to go? And this is going to go straight past the Stalker here.
And 4th and 5th Reaper on the way behind this. He's actually going for the Stalker. He's going to fall very rapidly here.
The Mothership Core gets where the Stalker survives. 1 probe does fall down, and it looks like another one will go down as well. With the 4th and 5th Reaper on the way, how much trouble is BabyKnight in here with this?
A lot of trouble, I think. I mean, LucifroN, he started a command center behind this, but it's pretty late. It's in his main. But killing those 3 walkers, he's going to get even more now. And he's getting a 4th and 5th Reaper. They're on the way now, so he could get in there, kill even more probes, maybe even get the Stalker, pretty much ignoring the Mothership Core, basically. Oh, did BabyKnight spot those? Yes, he spots them, so Very important information here.
All right, well, this one Reaper at the back tailing a little bit with its health as the Mothership Core pushes it back. An Immortal is being made. And these Reapers, one on the natural, 4 coming in from the back here. The Mothership Core anticipates this move with 2 Stalkers here. 1 probe does go down, 4 Reapers get out. All 5 Reapers keep intact here with a total of 6 probe kills.
Yeah, and those Reapers, they are going to be locking BabyKnight inside of his base for the rest of the game, basically. He has to leave lots of units to help deal with this, at least 2 Stalkers per base. So he cannot move out now. If his plan was to go for an Immortal push... Oh! LucifroN getting in there and trying to get a snipe on the Stalker, but he's going to lose 1 Reaper here. Big loss, I guess you could say, because from 4 to 5 Reapers, there's still a pretty big difference in damage.
All right, well, 4 Reapers unspotted, no pylon, no nothing down there, and the units move down to the natural ground. We are going to see a couple of stuff go down, a couple of probes go down. A 3rd command center has been put down behind this, but with 2 Immortals out, and 3 Reapers remain, if I'm not mistaken. Is there an opportunity that BabyKnight can move out at all?
Yeah.
Like, especially before Stim and Combat Shields?
Yeah, definitely. I think BabyKnight... Oh, whoa!
Almost.
LucifroN getting caught here, losing 1 more Reaper. Look at the observer of BabyKnight in LucifroN's main. It sees that there is 3 barracks only, there is no medivacs on the way. It saw that there was no bunker at the expansion as well. There is 1 going down now, but if he hits right now, ooh. How does LucifroN deal with these 2 Immortals? He has almost nothing. He's got 2 Marauders, 6 Marines down his ramp.
2 Gateways about to finish up as well. Stim is seconds away from finishing. It is 20 seconds away. The probes come into the natural. 1 and 2 are going to go down, but the Mothership Core comes to defend. But like you said, more bunkers coming in though. LucifroN realizes that the units are missing.
Yeah, and BabyKnight, he needs to be quicker about this. Oh, he warps into sentries. Surprising here. He might try to... he's going to try to take out the wall here. At least 1 depot, force these barracks from being lifted and moving away.
Well, Stim is ready, and looks like 1 of the sentries goes down. The Immortal being targeted down as well, and it shall fall. What's next on the bucket list is 1 more Immortal. And, oh, it's actually going to survive just about. It looks like SCV's looking for the kill, and it shall fall, and SCV tags it.
Yeah, but LucifroN has lost lots of very important units here, but taking out the 2 Immortals, he took out the very important DPS that BabyKnight needs to bust those bunkers. So those Reapers, they're going to get right back to work, and there's nothing to defend in the natural here.
Well, and more probes are going down. Probe stuck at the back as well. Total probe kills is 14 now. Yes, we did see BabyKnight tag a few SCVs of his own, but LucifroN behind in supply is going to get pushed out. Oh, 1, and 1 gets away. Just about 1 hit away. But at this point, we have a 3rd command center. We have double engineering bays. The factory's coming down as well. The armory will come down in a couple of seconds, I suppose, as well. Who's winning this game? Who's actually in the lead?
I think LucifroN is in the lead, but not by too much, because BabyKnight is going for the only transition he can get out of this, which is Colossi play. He's got a forge. He's not being too greedy about this. Not gone for 2 forges. And the thing is, since LucifroN went for all this, he went for the 3 command centers, the 3 barracks, and the double engineering bay, his medivac tech will be much later than it usually would be. So he's not going to be able to do these drops we talked about and that are so strong on this map for a while more. And BabyKnight from there, he's going to try and take a 3rd. It looks like that's a very early 3rd, especially considering everything that happened so far in this game.
All right, if that Reaper, which is just outside the 3rd base, spots the 3rd base, is BabyKnight going to be in trouble? Because he has very few units. He has a single Colossus just about to come out. If LucifroN moves out with his first 2 medivacs with +1 armor as well.
Yeah, if he starts dropping all over the place, it's going to be very hard for BabyKnight. But if he splits well enough, the thing is, he needs more gateways. He's got only the 3 gateways. Against drops, you need to have units well placed to defend, but you need to be able to warp in units extra as well to really help support your defense.
Well, we do see the Reapers finally being killed off, and a successful 17 probes across the entire game have gone down. Quite a hero set of Reapers. 5 barracks now coming down, or 2 extra ones, should I say, a 5th in total.
And LucifroN is an interesting choice here. He's made double tech labs on his first 2 barracks and only 1 reactor. Usually you will see lots of Terran go for 2 reactors, especially if they expect Templar play. So now he's very Marauder heavy, and I think that's going to do pretty well against what BabyKnight's doing.
And a
here.
2nd starport too. So he's going to climb up in Viking count quite fast at this point. The Templar Archives is on its way with a switchover already, and it's just a single Colossus, and I don't even think Thermal Lance was invested in, which it wasn't. So the switchover is pretty good at this point, right?
Yeah, LucifroN going for this many Marauders, this really tells me that he wants to go for a timing. A pre-storm timing would be ideal for him. If he can attack before storm is up, and he has enough Vikings to deal with, to be honest, the one Colossus there is going to do very well. He can just kite this army endlessly. How do you force field on this map? Look how open the space in front of the BabyKnight's army on the right-hand side is. It's going to be so hard for BabyKnight to make this work. And also, keep in mind the Nexus on the third is very far apart from the natural. So if LucifroN gets in there, Photon Overcharge is used, he can just bait some force fields and then move into the natural. But it looks like he wants to try with a double drop, most likely in the main, and then attack at the front with his main army. But keep in mind, his main army, there is an observer just right above it, and no medivacs nearby. If this gets force fielded, it's gonna die instantly.
Yeah, and he may kind of question where are the other medivacs, so we'll see how BabyKnight splits this up. As the double drop makes its way to the main base here, and it boosts itself in. Nothing at home to defend. Storm has been chrono boosted out from the main, as we can see the Temporal Archives is been... Oh, the Nexus is being targeted here. The Mothership Core comes in. There's Photon Overcharge probes come to help out. This Nexus is destined to fall. There's the force fields you talked about, and oh boy, do those units fall fast.
Yeah, but LucifroN did the damage he wanted here. He can just pull back from there and do a timing later on. Again, the thing is, BabyKnight, now he got Storm. Oh, great scan here. Great scan on the third base. I think from there, LucifroN should be able to realize that he's up against Storm. You see the Ghost Academy going down immediately. Remember what I said about LucifroN's Ghosts. They are very, very scary.
So I guess right now, LucifroN's plan is to keep harassment up, keep BabyKnight back until he's getting Mobius Reactor out, get the Ghost count high, and then look for a big fight. 2-2's done for LucifroN. He's going to work on 3-3 in a moment. And if we look at the upgrades of the Protoss player, what are they? 2 armor and 0 attack at this point.
LucifroN should be able to... Oh, he's going to drop again.
Well, he's going to drop down. Let's see what he's... If he gets that Nexus again, that's going to be rather annoying.
It looks like he's going to be able to quite easily here. And LucifroN, from sniping this Nexus once... Whoa!
The time warp was great.
He's coming back.
He's back in again, and that High Templar is going to get screwed. He's dead. Likewise is the Nexus, and LucifroN kills the Nexus for a third time in this game and moves forward. All right, let's have a look what's set up here for BabyKnight. He doesn't know this is coming. He has no observer in the middle of the map, but he is controlling that army. A scan comes down. Good force was go! Oh my gosh! Wow, what great pickup there by LucifroN as well, but... Whew.
I was going to say, oh wow, more medivacs will drop into the natural here. LucifroN really trying to abuse the fact that BabyKnight has not been doing a very good job of splitting his units here.
Yeah, he hasn't, and both players playing very crisp at this moment. Those force fields, those storms, the drops coming in left and right. This one still survives with 2 Marauders in it. But the biggest point, this is kind of still delaying tactics from LucifroN because 3-3's on the way. 3 Ghosts on the way. Oh no. If this goes down, if that Nexus goes down, the units are too far away. 1 Storm comes in to save it. BabyKnight, where are your units?
And in the main, we have 2 more Marauders getting some kills on some Templars.
It goes down. 1 last Marauder shot as he falls back onto his side there. That was a fall-in Matrix shot, that one.
Yeah, and... Okay, I've been trying to say something for a while, but there's too much action for me to be able to say it. LucifroN, he sniped lots of Nexus in this game. Every time you snipe a Nexus, you can anticipate that over a few minutes, you're going to be able to take a supply lead. And now with all the Nexi he sniped, he should be able to know that in a few minutes from now, he's going to be maxed. He's going to have better upgrades. He's going to have better tech. He's going to have better everything. He's going to have an earlier force. He's starting to walk on a force now. This should be a planetary fortress to make sure he can defend. And if you look at his ghost counts, he's slowly but surely getting up. He's up to 6 right now. If he gets a few more and starts moving out and attack with enough Vikings to deal with these 2 Colossi, he should be able to secure himself this game as long as he does not mess up like he did before against force fields and storms.
Well, thank you, the Atlas EU, for your tweet. My girlfriend thought StarCraft 2 was too nerdy and boring. After streaming #WCS on TV, she's now the one... Well, now who's the one watching the live stream? I think she tuned in to watch me and you, Todd.
This poor guy makes a nice tweet and then...
I'm joking. StarCraft is great, isn't it? And thank you, too, for tuning in. But right now, we have 3-3 completed. Any second? Wait, done. There it is. 3-3's done now.
Only 3-1 for BabyKnight.
Yeah.
And he's getting Blink. He's going to need Blink for his Stalkers to try and take out those Vikings. He's got 3 Colossi. The composition of BabyKnight is not that bad. At this point in the game, I'm surprised he's doing so well for himself. I really think a lot of players, probably me, I would be out of it now. But he's got his composition, he's got Templars, he's got lots of Templars. It's all going to come down to Templars versus Ghosts. Can he make it work? Can he get any Storms? Can he get any feedback?
8 Ghosts, 10 Ghosts, well, 8 Ghosts with this army, just about, versus 5 High Templar. Let's find out. It looks like BabyKnight's lost vision of this. Xel'Naga doesn't see where his opponent is, can't see where to feedback, where to storm. An attack comes in from LucifroN on this right-hand side. The Nexus looks like it's going to fall. Here the fight is going to be an good EMP, I think, in the middle of those 2 High Templar. A Storm and an EMP comes down this 4th base. He's just dead. It doesn't look like BabyKnight can go in, and if he did, he'd probably lose the fight. So he decides to look for another opportunity.
Yeah, it's all about the Templars movement here. You need to be able to come in from a few different sides to make sure you can get some very good Storms and feedback off on those units. If you can make that happen, you're going to be able to win the fight. But as it is, BabyKnight, he just kept all his Templars together, he pulled them back behind his army. If you send them one by one, they're going to get sniped. And that's exactly what LucifroN is trying to do right now. With the great scan, he sees the entire army. He's going to EMP beforehand.
Yeah, EMP's a sentries, no Guardian Shield available here. The Colossus getting targeted down. The Ghosts run back, and the High Templars come in from the left-hand side. The Colossus just go down. No Storms have hit at all at this point. And oh my god, LucifroN maintains the supply lead at this point, and he comes in. EMPs left and right. There's a couple of Storms, decent feedbacks as well. A long drawn-out fight by both these players, but one okay Storm on the right-hand side, but is there too much Terran?
Yeah, it looks like BabyKnight might barely hold here if he gets at least one more warping of Zealots.
Oh, there's a good Storm from the left-hand side, and another one comes in the right, and he does hold on. 15 supply difference between these two players, and BabyKnight holds on. He's even going to pick off a couple of straggling units here as those medivacs do fall. And what a great game we have for the first of this best of 5, with BabyKnight taking another expansion on the left.
Yeah, absolutely. LucifroN's macro behind this has been very impressive. He's made some additional command centers on his 4th base, 2 extra ones. He's going to be taking extra bases, or he might keep those just for using mules on the new bases that he takes. He's getting a 3rd starport, his 3rd base.
Yeah, really, this is something we don't really see from Terran players.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the fact that in this matchup, the swinging of tech, whether it be Templar and Colossus and Vikings and Ghosts, something we don't see from Terran players is the addition of a 3rd starport. We see 3, 4, God bless, maybe 5 sometimes, I don't know. But a 3rd starport, 6 medivacs or 6 Vikings at a time.
I think he's perfectly anticipated BabyKnight going into double robo here, because BabyKnight is adding on a 2nd robotics facility as expansion. He wants to go into a lot of Colossi. The ideal number will be 5 to 7. And whoa, why is BabyKnight chrono boosting all these gates? Usually you will do this just right before you attack, but I don't seriously think BabyKnight really wants to attack right now. He's got the Dark Shrine, so he can try and get some harass going with some of those Dark Templars sent into the mineral lines of his opponent. Whoa, is he seriously attacking here with just this?
All right, well, if it's just this, doesn't look like he's going to survive the night here. DTs are being brought in, but there's a turret and a Planetary Fortress on every one of these expansions, so it's going to be very difficult to actually break an expansion here unless he's able to bring down the turret with more than a single DT. But LucifroN smells blood. Good Storm there by BabyKnight, gets the Vikings.
Oh, good feedback as well. He got the Ghosts. BabyKnight not trying to spoon at all here. He wants to take the fights to LucifroN as soon as he's satisfied with his army composition. With 2 more Colossi on the way, he might have a shot at holding this and even beating this army quite convincingly if LucifroN is not careful.
All right, well, this is a very funneled area here for EMPs to come down, which they do, onto the Zealots. The Colossus on the left-hand side here, Vikings on the right. Not a massive army here for LucifroN either, but the amount of EMPs, the shields are down. The Ghost count, oh boy, blanketing in EMPs is LucifroN. Very close in supply once again. Storms are so crucial here. There's only a single Colossus. And, well, the Stalkers are dying fast here. The Colossus on the left-hand side likewise going down, but again, a close fight. But look at the supply, 170 to 140, a new round of units come in, 2 by 2 Colossus come in. The current count of Vikings is only 4, but 6 Vikings per cycle.
Yeah, the production for LucifroN is just much better right now. He's got enough barracks, he's got enough starports to keep outproducing BabyKnight. He might just never allow BabyKnight to take a 5th here, wherein he has his own 5th. He's going to be doing very well.
I mean, at this stage of the game, your main's pretty much gone, and the natural's soon to be. It is going to be important for BabyKnight to establish. We can see in the screen here the minerals, 1,000 minerals a minute difference between the 2 players, and more. Well, just a little bit in gas at this point, as the main base hasn't run out yet, but it soon will. BabyKnight, a couple more gateways, a DT being made. There he is.
Yeah, LucifroN making sure BabyKnight's not taking a 5th at the 12 o'clock position. He sent a Marauder there, a Marauder scout.
A Marauder scout. Oh dear.
Oh wow.
Oh
Not gonna
dear.
last long.
Oh dear.
Goodbye.
What's
poor
more
guy.
painful to die from? A DT slash or a feedback?
Feedback.
Feedback?
Yeah.
You just blow up. At least you don't. Well, actually, maybe it's a cleaner way to die. You just get blown up. You wouldn't feel anything. You go down to like 5 HP by a DT slash. You're left with nothing. It'd be like a scene out of Monty Python. All right,
still
Ghost.
pretty
Oh no!
quick, this.
Oh no! Observers! No! Where are the observers? BabyKnight is panicking. He's storming the Ghost as there's nothing here to detect this. EMP's cover everything, and this actually might be game-ending. And well, look at this. The army comes in closer from the right-hand side. The Vikings are going to bring everything down. 50 supply difference. Marauders, Ghosts, and Marines stand tall. And Archon, not going to be enough here, sorry. As LucifroN moves forward 183 supply to 130, and now the 4th base. We talked about the importance of a 5th base. Well, now the 4th base is gone.
Yeah, and that's pretty important too, obviously. LucifroN here, that was a perfect engagement, perfect fight out of him. His Ghost control again, pretty close to perfect. BabyKnight, all of his Templars are always together. I have to say I'm a little bit surprised by this. He needs to split them up a little bit more. He needs to try to come from the sides to try and storm this army, but now he's left with a much smaller, only one color side. This is
I mean, what percentage
sad.
would you give BabyKnight right now?
0.02%.
That's kind of low as LucifroN marches forward, Spanish flag in hand, as the final storm comes down from BabyKnight, but it doesn't look like he's got too much else. Well, 2 high tempo go straight over to Archons. The Colossus doing a lot of damage here and a good aggressive blink forward. Does he have enough? It's really difficult to tell underneath the Vikings. Only a handful of Marauders and Marines. But the problem is, units from the north just come down, reinforcing, and also the production. The 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th base that LucifroN has is going to power him for the rest of the game. BabyKnight's running out of resources. He has no money. GG. LucifroN opens up this best-of-5 series with a sip of water and a victory.
Yeah, very impressive play, I have to say. His macro was really good. Weist harassing those Nexus snipe. BabyKnight caught off guard here maybe a little bit by those first 2 medivacs. And when somebody finds a hole like this, they will almost always try to exploit it again. So that's a psychological thing here for BabyKnight. You need to be able to identify what your opponent's doing and try to counter it in the future. And you need to anticipate his next move. So when he already showed you a move, you need to anticipate the next drop. And BabyKnight didn't do this at all. He didn't leave any units in his main, or at least not enough to defend the next drops.
All right, well, thanks, guys, for tuning in. This is, of course, the WCS Premier League. We're just sorting out who is going to be our 5th place man. As you can see on screen, Tilo beat Happy 3-1 just now, and we're into the 2nd semi-final. And then, of course, the winner of this will move on to play Tilo to grab a plane ticket to Korea as the 5th place finisher in the Premier League playoffs here. But what needs to change in this next map? What does BabyKnight need to do? It is Belshir Vestige.
Yesterday it was the War Prisms. Today it's the Templars that he needs to split better, I think.
Right.
Place all over the map, get some cannons. You saw me against Thorzane.
I saw you against Thorzane.
You know how to spoon Terran to death.
You did spoon him. You slapped him a couple of times with that spoon. All right, Belshir Vestige, map number 2, up here to the top left. Currently leading this series 1-0. It is Coronte's LucifroN. And down here is the blue Protoss, the last remaining Protoss, the last remaining Nordic player within this tournament. It is BabyKnight.
BabyKnight, I have to say, apart from not splitting his units well enough to defend against those medivac drops, his macro was really good in the previous game. He mixed in army very, very well, and it just came down to army placement and splitting. So if he fixes that in this game, he's going to have a serious shot at winning, in my opinion, because his macro was very impressive and some of his decisions as well. It did look like he wanted to try and go for something special with the Immortal Push. It just didn't work out as well as he would have liked it to. Maybe with better force fields, it might have.
All right, we've looked at BabyKnight and him as a player and what to improve on. Did you spot, as a Protoss player yourself, playing in Premier League next season, any weaknesses from LucifroN? If you were to play LucifroN, is there anything that you saw maybe in game number 1?
He was very solid, I have to say. This 5 Reaper opener was a good way to surprise your opponent. And by the way, we have a much later gas here. I think this might be the MVP build with the quick reactor and then command center. But yeah, coming back to LucifroN, he's very solid overall, and his ghost control is very good. So you can either try to finish him before he gets to too many ghosts and too many bases, which is going to be very hard anyway. Or you can try to take it to the late game, but then you need to keep in mind that his ghost control is going to be very good. So you're going to have to improve lots of other aspects of your play to make sure that the ghost control is not the most important thing in the game.
All right, well, as you said, LucifroN opened up for about 14, 15 gas there. I wasn't watching closely. But that, as you mentioned, factory coming down, reactor or factory, depending on which way he wants to go with it, into an expansion play. Other hand, though, BabyKnight with double gas.
Yeah, no Zealot.
No Zealot. What happens if an engineering bay comes down? And especially if he comes in and sees that there's no Zealot being made.
Yeah, his expansion will be delayed by a lot, but then BabyKnight, does he go for an aggressive build again? In the previous game, he didn't look like he wanted to make a very quick Nexus, to be honest. He just went for the quick Robo. Will he go for it again? That's very possible.
All right. What's the strength of opening Robo before expanding, though? Like, is it... Why?
Just Immortal push, I think, with just 2 Immortals to try and... if your opponent goes for 1 Reaper, you're going to be in pretty good shape, I think, because he gets very few units, he gets Stimpack late. In the previous game, the execution from BabyKnight wasn't the best. Regarding that, he might try and... Okay, he's not going to try to do it again, do it better. He's just getting 2 Stalkers this time. And he's already affected by the way LucifroN opened in the previous game.
All right, well, LucifroN is going to be attempting a bit of aggression here. Of course, as that factory finishes, we'll be wanting to get a starport down.
Oh, the SCV is going to get in.
He sees the Nexus. So he knows now that there was no tech. You can pretty much tell that there was no tech thrown before that. And even if he squeezes into the main base, which...
No, there could have been a Twilight, because he made the second Stalker.
Oh,
so instead of that.
But he sees the second Stalker, unless...
He saw the Robo, but...
Yeah. Okay.
That should be a big tail, that there cannot be a Twilight in.
There we go. Stalker pokes its way up, sees the Marines. I'm not sure if he had the opportunity to poke behind the Marines, as we did enter that scout a little bit late. But with a Mothership Core and a second Stalker, he may actually...
He didn't see anything yet. If he time warps here, he used the 2 Stalkers, he could kill all of this without losing anything.
Ooh, the Mothership Core pulls back, and here comes the second Stalker to help out. LucifroN's going to go for the Mothership kill.
He gets it.
Falls, but is that worth it here? He's going to lose all these... Well, actually gets a Stalker as well. And BabyKnight losing both of those units, even losing a third, it looks like things got a little bit reversed there.
Yeah, even getting just the Mothership Core here would have been worth it, because these Marines, they are not very important. He's not being rushed here. They're only money. He traded money for gas, money, and energy. Very powerful spells. So behind this BabyKnight, he has to remake his Mothership Core. You're never going to be happy about this. This 100 gas, very important.
And then we have 2 Widow Mines, a Medivac being made, and now an Armory coming down. We're going to be having some Hellbat drops once. Again, LucifroN's used it many times in the past.
Do you know how to say Hellbats in Spanish?
How do you say Hellbats in Spanish? You know?
Murcielago Infernal.
Murcielago Inferno.
I don't think we say it right.
Not even close?
No, probably not.
It's like I download Rosetta Stone in the break.
At least Cucarachas was easy, but yeah.
All right, Hellbats. Let's have a look how much they're going to do. Stim is coming down as well.
He's going to drop 2 mines and 4 Marines and do a Hellion run by in the meantime at first, and probably follow this up with a Hellbat drop, or going to make... Well, he's getting Mauder and Stimpack, so probably no make.
All right. Well, a Stalker.
Well, the Medivac took lots of damage before reaching the base of... And BabyKnight is fully aware now of what's going on. Whoa, he's warping in Unity is natural.
2 sentries and 3 Stalkers.
Why is there nothing in the main by BabyKnight?
All right, well, I don't know. As he tries to grab both the Hellions, one escapes, and here comes the units in the main. No Mothership Core. I don't think it's got enough energy yet. And 2 Widow Mines do plant themselves down. Observer.
Oh, Photon Overcharge is going to be ready in a second. He might lose the... Okay, he doesn't lose the Mothership Core. The mine targeted something else.
He got a couple of probes there, and just a couple. Not too much, though. But at this stage of the game, we've seen... Oh, actually, on the natural, it looks like we do have a Hellion slipped its way back in. And did that increase the probe count kill? Just 1 extra for a total of 4. At this point, though, where are we in this game?
As Protoss, you always need to be a few walkers ahead, at least early on, and BabyKnight is only 2 probes ahead above LucifroN's SCV count, so it's okay. It's not the best. Okay, well, you lose more probes. That's never going to be good. He needs to split his units better. Look, he always brings his entire army together, so he has everything in the main now, but then the natural is left by itself.
Where
and
do these units go? Are they going back to the natural now? Because in comes the Hellbat drop. Uh-oh. Mothership Core, Photon Overcharge is available, but the Hellbats are here and they're going to do a lot of damage. Oh, 1 more wave. Oh, a couple of probes go down. Not the biggest of hit. Definitely could have been bigger, but Where are these going? He's going to target down a sentry and gets a sentry and a couple of probe kills, which now puts the death ratio 8-1. 8 kills here for LucifroN, 1 for BabyKnight.
Yeah, and LucifroN is going to find himself ahead on the worker count. He's getting a third command center behind this. He wants to go for bio, but he hasn't made the extra barracks just yet.
Wow,
he goes for the double engineering bay now. And
a third command center, double engineering bay before any additional barracks at all. That's pretty greedy, I'd say, at this point. With 2 barracks coming down now, he doesn't really have too much back at home, but he's going to keep BabyKnight pinned back for quite a while. These Hellbat drops are just too scary.
And the thing is, in this situation, what could be very scary for LucifroN is a timing by BabyKnight, but it will be so easy to see it for LucifroN because he keeps on dropping, and he sees BabyKnight trying to take a very quick third here, to be honest. Given the circumstances, he's lost workers already. He's having a very hard time defending, and he tries to rush that third. He's made it work in the previous game, and he stabilized for some time, but in this game, maybe he could have delayed it a little bit more. And he opened very similarly behind this with the Forge, the Colossus tech, and oh wow, he's getting charged very quickly.
I don't know how well this is going to go down for BabyKnight. A handful of units making their way across. There are 4 medivacs in the sky, 6 in the sky. He can basically evade force fields at this point. Just fly over and drop on the army. And that's a small army. There's the scan, sees it, and well, LucifroN smells blood.
Yeah, the army supply right now, 32 for BabyKnight, 47 for LucifroN. He has to be careful. Force fields could be very strong.
Oh, here it comes. He just evades everything, and the Hellbats just drop on the army. The Colossus, if that goes down, I feel the game will as well. As LucifroN with a spectacular 1-2 maneuver. Down goes the Colossus. Hellbats and Marauders, and he saves them as well. He's going to drop on top of the Stalkers. In comes the speed boost, and down for the Stalkers. What a great move here. LucifroN, GG, picks up game number 2. Consistent harassment. Produce Marauders off 1 barracks and Hellbats off the factory. Behind it, 3rd command center, double engineering bay. What a game.
Yeah, he was careful enough against these force fields, I guess. And BabyKnight using the time warp in this last fight. He didn't have enough energy to go for a photon overcharge behind it, so he really had no chance. As soon as he lost those sentries, he didn't have anything to basically equal the advantage that he could have with those force fields. So he just lost his entire army almost instantly here. When lone Colossus tried to run away, but
you ain't going nowhere. You aren't going nowhere. BabyKnight now 0-2, 1 game away. LucifroN in match point position. He's in the driving seat in this series. He's commanding it. He's playing the series out how he wants to. BabyKnight needs to gain control.
Yeah, and also remember yesterday he suffered a crushing defeat versus Stefano. He lost 0-3. Now he's down 0-2 here.
5 games in a row.
Nobody wants to go 0-6 when coming to a tournament this important here. And he's also playing here for the qualification, for the 5th place, for a ticket to Korea. So he has to go for the comeback here. He has to somehow compose himself and think about how to go into this series and play it better, because so far nothing's been working for him.
Well, let's find out. LucifroN pegged as the favorite between these 4 players, is pegged as a tournament favorite in itself. Unfortunately ran into his nemesis a little bit too early on in the tournament within 4GG. But now he's down here fighting against BabyKnight, and TLO, I suppose, is happy he's been knocked out to get this plane ticket to move on as the 5th place finisher here. The next map, which map is it? Did you see?
No.
Okay, it's Whirlwinds. The map is Whirlwinds. A map that Terran players love to medivac.
On which map do they not?
That's a big point. I wonder, do you reckon there's a Terran player out there that hates medivacs?
Goody, maybe? Because then he could never get dropped. Only attack the front.
He'd always win. All right, down here in the bottom left, 2-0 at this point, looking for match point 3 games in a row. It is Caronte's LucifroN. And up here, needing a miracle across the weekend is 0-5 in games. It is BabyKnight.
And BabyKnight on this map, if he opens the same way, I would like him to try something like a timing, you know? Just trying to cut probes earlier and really going for big timing with lots of gateways, because even his gateway count in those games hasn't been very high compared to what you might see from some Protosses. I'm one believer that if you get more gateways, it's better than not enough, because sometimes if your macro slips or you're fighting a little bit too much and you have lots of money, or you need to warp in units somewhere, it's always going to be helpful. Remember, a gateway is only 150 minerals. And when you have the warp in possibility, it makes those gateways very, very strong. So LucifroN, it looks like he wants to go for a command center first here.
Yeah, he had the option to build the barracks because he actually almost did build it, and then he was like, no, let's go back. So he is going to go 14 command center. This build from LucifroN just revolves around making sure you get every timing correct. Engineering bay, bunker, turret, everything. Yes. Because if this was spotted, which as we see hasn't been, there are multiple options for BabyKnight to choose to, but in a game where he doesn't scout, does this put him in a pretty bad position?
He has to scout at some point. I'm assuming with his Stalker and model. It would be better, obviously, if he saw it, because then he could play a little bit greedy himself.
So he doesn't know if it's 5 Reapers, if it's gas early.
As much as it's not the end of the world, it's also, it could be better, obviously. And you know, I have this theory that there is always a time in the game, in every matchup, where you can make a recap just by pausing at some point of what might have happened and what will happen, and that will tell you a lot. For example, in Protoss versus Zerg, it will be 11 minutes. If you see the walker count into what tech somebody's going, you can already tell who win or what might happen. And versus Terran, I think 10, 30, 11 minutes is going to be the very important point where we can see where both players are in walker count, in army count, and in tech. And in this game, LucifroN going for command center first. I've played against his command center first before Newkirk City. At 10 minutes, 30, 11 minutes, he might have 105 supply with more walkers than his opponent and more army as well, ready to drop. So that's the threat of playing against LucifroN on a map like this, not scouting his command center first and not really adapting to it, which is what you were mentioning. If BabyKnight doesn't know about it, he can't try to adapt to it. He's just going to play a standard game, but then is a standard game enough against somebody of the caliber of LucifroN?
That's right. BabyKnight, for the first time, though, didn't get a second gas. I mean, that kind of lends to his favor a little bit, because he got a faster Nexus. It's not obviously a super fast Nexus, but he did get the second gas afterwards, which will help a little bit with pro production to keep up against a player like LucifroN here. But 2 extra gateways come down. Is that a 3rd gateway?
Oh, that's...
3rd gateway coming down, completely blind. There is an SCV about to approach up the natural, but a Stalker and Mothership core should be able to prevent this from being spotted.
And BabyKnight, he hadn't been scouted yet. Whoa!
Whoa, he spotted, did he see it? I think he saw it.
Yeah, he saw the 2 gateways, but not the other one. So now, LucifroN might scan, because he wasn't able to see if there is a Robo or a Twilight, which is the most important information. So he doesn't have enough energy yet for a scan. But if he goes for one and he sees all of these gateways, he's just going to throw down lots of bunkers and find himself very safe against the push that BabyKnight wants to go for. BabyKnight, do you think he's on tilt here? He's lost every single map so far in this tournament.
I don't know, but this is going to be difficult. LucifroN, ideally as a Terran player, at this stage, you do want to send out an SCV or something. A Marine, maybe try to hook around the right-hand side, see if there's a pylon up there. He's going to move down with everything. This is pretty good too, because there's no units. No, the Stalker, no! BabyKnight loses the Stalker. A disastrous start to this aggression, losing one of his key units there. Does he abort? He can't abort, he has to keep going. No, he is! Double gas is coming down, 2 sentries get warped in. He's looking for a get-out plan already. 4 sentries.
I think BabyKnight, he doesn't want to go for a big bust here. He wants LucifroN to move out and to catch him off guard, to kill lots of his bioforces. But LucifroN's being very cautious because he hasn't scouted. He didn't go for the scan after his SCV scout didn't see all that he wanted. He never scanned anything, so he's not aware. Whoa, the Mothership core was dancing here for a bit.
It's like a disco ball.
Shiny disco ball.
Shiny disco ball. 4 Stalkers being warped in next to these sentries. There's an SCV. Oh my gosh. An SCV finds its way inside the main base of BabyKnight with chrono-boosted gateways going down. SCVs are immediately pulled. He realizes what's going on. I guess a second bug would probably be a wise idea at this point, as he cancels the turret and gets the bunker.
Great reaction here. Oh, he needs more SCV to make sure this doesn't get force-fielded. If the first bunker falls, LucifroN's going to be in trouble here.
All right, well, let's find out. No force fields have gone down yet. It doesn't look like BabyKnight. Is he going to...
BabyKnight doesn't have enough to tank here. He's got 2 Zealots.
All right, yeah.
So he's just...
And a Forge comes down back at home, as we can see in the production tab, and he leaves his army and a Robo.
The SCV in the middle of the map just walked right past those units, and in the end, it was still taken out.
It was like a game of capture the flag.
BabyKnight, he doesn't... Supposedly, when you open with lots of gateways like this, you should go into Forge plus Twilight, but BabyKnight is still making a Robo. I'm a little bit surprised by this.
A Robo, so is he...
He might go into Colossus again.
I mean, what's the point in going for an Observer at this point over into Twilight Council now? It's just a waste, you're playing from behind.
Yeah, but an Observer, you can put it between your main and your opponent's natural to make sure you don't get dropped. You will see those very easily. And remember, those drops cost him a lot. Second Forge goes down, next to the first one.
Oh, wow,
Does he go for Twilight? Does he go for Robo Bay? We're going to find out, I guess, when this Robo finishes.
Either way, he's playing from behind in this game, even though he's got a supply lead, which is kind of interesting. Actually, look at the SCV count. Look at the SCV count.
He chrono boosted so many probes. He did very well with that. I wasn't paying attention, but the thing is, LucifroN is going to find himself on 3 command centers. And with the mules, he should still be doing okay on the economic side of things. And LucifroN might have cut SCV production here for some time, because he had to make bunkers. He had to make engineering base. He was getting a 3rd command center as well. He just finished now.
In all of this, looking at the actual numbers, BabyKnight, I said, you know, BabyKnight should be behind now, but he's ahead in wait a minute. And all of a sudden, he's not in that bad of a position. 51 probes. He obviously doesn't have any splash damage, but there's the robotics bay coming down.
And this time he's going to be leaving quite the amount of stalkers in his main to make sure he doesn't get dropped. And 51 probes to 40 SCVs right now. He's getting the Twilight Council. I don't think he wants to go into Colossus too much. I think he should get just 1 or 2 maybe without range, and then go into either Blink or Charge would be very smart in this case, because he's not going to have the gas for everything. Remember when Sase tried that versus MVP? Didn't go so well.
Two Medivac's been spotted. Oh, 1! Oh, he gets hit just about. Squeezes out a last shot. As I almost lose my voice with a squealing pig movement, and he gets the Medivac.
Nice pylon at the 3rd base of LucifroN, completely being spared so far. And LucifroN nicely places a Marine at the 12 o'clock position to make sure BabyKnight doesn't expand there. This is going to be denied immediately. Do you think he could go for a timing here? He's not getting thermal lens just yet, BabyKnight that is. He could go for a big timing with 2-1 upgrades or even 2-2. Some Zealots, some Charge Lots, and some Archons as well.
It's a timing on what though? What are you hitting? Exactly.
The space between the natural and the 3rd base. Knowing BabyKnight, that's probably not it, but if he would go for it, this could surprise LucifroN quite heavily. Especially since you can take the Watchtower and then your opponent is going to have a very hard time scouting whether or not you're attacking.
We do see a drop on the left-hand side ready to go. Ready to roll, ready to roll. Let's see if it actually breaks into the main base though. As LucifroN, oh dear, if he gets a snipe on this 3rd Nexus, I can see on the minimap a squad of units making its way up north. BabyKnight, where are you going with your units?
He places himself close enough to make sure this doesn't happen, but this might happen anyway.
I think with a stim here, maybe I had to go in. Here comes the stim, only 1 Marauder, and he gets a probe and he targets down the Nexus, and it is it? I don't know. 2 force fields, 3 force fields, 4, 5 force fields, and it gets cancelled either way. A great pick off there by LucifroN.
The Medivac that was on the left side died in the meantime, because it was sent at the same time. LucifroN assumed that there was going to be the entire army of BabyKnight again on the right-hand side, but that wasn't the case. So at least BabyKnight, he got something out of this.
And you know, he slows down his opponent who had a good economy, who, you know, was at 51 probes to 35 or something, but now it's 60 SCVs with 3 sets of mules versus 58 probes and a non-active functional 3rd Nexus. The economy swung in his favor.
Does LucifroN ever have below 2,000 income?
Hardly ever. Hardly ever. And let's have a look at the upgrades. 3, +3 on the way, and +2 on the way. Pretty decent upgrades for BabyKnight too, for sure.
Second starport was made by LucifroN again in his main, so he's being very cautious. He doesn't want to be outnumbered by these Colossi and lose surprisingly to them. He's getting lots of ghosts right now as well. And is he really going to attack now? BabyKnight about to have Storm here. This is a post-storm timing that's supposed to be pre-storm. That usually does not go well.
It's a look at what we have here for LucifroN, not a lot. Maybe if he can bait the units left and stim up on the right-hand side for the next scan, but there's a scan. I think BabyKnight already knows what that scan means. Looking where the army is, so that's not going to work. Definitely, LucifroN should probably be looking, for drops inside the main base to wait until Vikings and Ghosts are present, but the Viking count is 2. I guess there is only 1 Colossus, but they are starting up again.
I like the job BabyKnight is doing with his 2 observers. He has one on the top left-hand side next to his main base. If it was a little bit lower, it will be better. And he has another observer always following the army of LucifroN. And I'm surprised LucifroN hasn't scanned for this. Because it can really make a Protoss paranoid if you do scans for them.
What does BabyKnight need to do at this point? Does he sit back and wait? Does he move out? He sees the army. He sees what he's up against.
I feel like he missed his timing where LucifroN wouldn't have enough ghosts to hold here. Oh, he might go for an attack here. He's moving out. If he goes for an attack, he's again going to come down. Look at the supply. 166 to 166. Very even here.
Army size is identical. The worker supply was identical too there.
Mirror game.
Look at this, exactly. The same in supply here. Very equal game between these two players in this third map. Currently, LucifroN winning 2-0 in a best of 5. Remember, next map, if LucifroN wins, he's playing against TLO.
And BabyKnight is starting to proxy some pylons, so I do think he's going to want to go for an attack here. Or maybe this is just for his Dark Shrine, because he's again getting a late game Dark Shrine, I guess you could call it. When you're on 6 gases, it's very easy to try and put on some pressure, but LucifroN is the one who might try and take the fight to BabyKnight before this happens.
All right, well, let's have a look. The high tempo count is at 4, and they're pretty locked and loaded. 2 Colossus with this army as well. Let's have a look how LucifroN's going to do it. One difference for LucifroN in this game, he hasn't got any upgrades on his Vikings, only just starting +1 or near completion.
And BabyKnight is not leaving any Templars on his bases. He always put all of his Templars in group number 2, his entire army in group number 1. He's got 1 in his main, I guess, but no one on his third, no one on his natural. If he got dropped everywhere, it would be very hard for him to hold.
It's going to be a good position for the Vikings on the high ground here, starting to rain damage onto the Colossus. Takes it down to about half hit points. Stalkers will pick off a couple of Vikings there, 2 to 3 Vikings. The Time Warp cancels out the movement up that ramp.
And I think we're about to have Dark Templars warped in across the map. If BabyKnight went for this would be very tough for LucifroN to hold.
No turrets, no bunkers, nothing. If he can hold on position while going for DTs, well, here comes the fight either way. A couple of EMPs go down.
The observer above the army of LucifroN was still never denied. Personal cloaking is about to finish. You would expect him to at least scan for this and take it out.
Does BabyKnight have the...
Remember the previous game, the killing move was those cloaked ghosts getting in and EMPing everything.
Oh dear, that could be a bit of a problem. But does BabyKnight has what it takes? But to think another level would be to start warping in those DTs. But does he want to spare gas? He's currently maxed out, which is a problem. And
the main of BabyKnight just mined out, so he's starting to walk on a 4th base, but he really needs to start leaving some Templars in all of his bases. Wow, this pylon is going to be surrounded very soon.
That was a great opportunity for DTs to come from that pylon. Really great. If that was able to go into the
he goes for it now, but... no, he goes for it Zealot.
Zealot. All right, well, where is that observer? There's only 2 on the map. One's to the left-hand side, which you pointed out for the drop, or at least... Or no, it's gone. Where are the observers? Do you know where both of them are? Here comes a couple of EMPs anyway. The high tempo get hit quite hard. There's one observer. It is with the army. I can see it in the army now.
Yeah, just behind it.
A couple of force fields come down. Good force fields trying to keep this army away. BabyKnight doesn't want to fight at this point. Ooh, this is incredibly tense. A Colossus on the right.
What was he doing there?
I have no idea what he was doing there.
Wow.
Ooh. Double robo coming down.
LucifroN is doing such a good job right now. His only problem is vision around his army. His army in a direct fight will never lose. If he could see the entire map, he wouldn't lose to this army. But he needs to keep on scanning around his army. If you look at LucifroN's vision, he needs to make sure he doesn't get surprised by 1 or 2 storms here.
No observer once again here. Well, not with the army. LucifroN scans, sees no observer. Oh, where's the cloak? Where is it?
He doesn't want to spend the energy. He might not have to use it.
All right, well, there's a good storm on that bio. Gets a lot of those front marines there. The Vikings trying to get down to this Colossus. An incredibly tense, long, drawn-out fight here from basically LucifroN's 3rd base to the middle of the map over to BabyKnight's side.
And look at the army count and worker supply. Very even again. Such a mirror game.
It's going to come down to who can take the fight better here. There's an observer following the army. I can see it amongst the medivacs. A traitor, but it dies.
Finally, it was there the entire game, following the... Oh!
No observers at all. Cloak! Oh, not again! Oh no, BabyKnight, not again! And everything gets EMP'd. A couple of the high temples at the back manage to survive. One pulls forward, a storm goes down. And well, what's this? At the bottom left, there seems to be a couple of zealots. Oh, nice. I don't know how they managed to escape the ranks of Vaya here, but they've come down to harass, and that's going to pull LucifroN back. A nice move here from BabyKnight, giving himself a bit of room to breathe.
But you know, LucifroN's macro has been much better this game. He's got up to more bases, and BabyKnight's probes that were in his main, they were mining only on his 3rd. So on his 3rd base, he's on 28 probes out of 24.
Yeah.
He hasn't transferred. Look at his 4th base. BabyKnight never saturated his 4th base, so he's gonna start falling behind on economy supposedly, but since he hasn't lost much units, he's starting to build up quite a bank.
And yeah, the micro's been great from BabyKnight.
Wow,
he's found a way to get some stalkers in to snipe this command center.
But he completely forgot about his Dark Templars in this game. Imagine he had used some Dark Templars.
Yeah.
He could have done so much damage.
Well, let's have a look how this is going to go, as the two armies are going to have to face off against each other one more time in the middle of the map. BabyKnight's going to take the high ground position here. Oh no, this could be pretty bad for LucifroN. How is he going to get up there to fight? I mean, is there any? There's an observer here. He's got force field stopping the left-hand side. High tempo at the back. Oh, big move. 3 remain. I don't know which way this is going to go.
Yeah, LucifroN's completely going for it here.
LucifroN's going for it. BabyKnight's dropping in supply, and the cloak ghosts are doing a lot of damage. Oh, without any Colossus here and without any high tempo, we know which way that goes. And BabyKnight takes a move to kill the economy, but maybe this is a good strategical option from him. If he can bring down the economy, which he has in minerals, and use the bank that he has that you pointed out before, maybe it didn't matter that he lost all those units. Maybe that was the sacrifice, the decision he made to win this game.
Because he had a big bank behind it too. And look at LucifroN's bank. He's got no money. He's got lots of gas. What does he go for? Does he go for Mass Ravens? That's not going to help here.
Wow.
He needs to retake his base. He's down to 40 SCVs. He's going to start to retake the 6 o'clock position. But the income of LucifroN is below 1,000. It's finally gone down below 2,000, below 1,000 as well.
If BabyKnight's decision there could have just won him this game. Let's see though, because the supply count still in favor of LucifroN as he moves forward with these ghosts, with the Marauder Marines. 2 Colossus. How many Vikings?
We got triple.
16. Oh my God, 16 Vikings.
Yeah, but triple robotics. If he can get up to 6 Colossi,
32
okay.
Zealots. It's a lot of Zealots.
Yes.
I don't know who's going to be able to win this fight here. BabyKnight's starting to spend all his money. LucifroN has a better position here. If these units walk up that ramp, he can just EMP, and LucifroN takes the advantage on the high ground.
Wow, LucifroN is going to snipe this base, looks like.
Oh, 1 Colossus. And an observer maybe there. I'm not too sure what went down, but he's going to snipe this base indeed.
It looks like BabyKnight is too Zealot heavy here. This is not going to go so well. They're going to get EMP, they're going to fall instantly in those fights.
All right, well, Vikings, Stalkers, blink, take 1 down. Scans again, observer goes down. And there's the cloak, and it's activated. The observer goes down as well, so there's nothing to detect these ghosts. Oh no, a storm goes down in panic. BabyKnight knows he's in trouble. Another EMP, as well as a good storm. But now there's just basically Zealots and a bunch of high tempos which are not doing anything. And here comes the turnaround. The Zealots get in there, the EMPs come down. These Marines go pew, 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 and they're taking down the Zealots pretty damn fast here.
And the medivacs are healing everything.
Look at that, the medivacs, 160 supply to 126. And LucifroN looks like he may have toppled BabyKnight's bank despite not having any money. His fights were perfect. We have a nuke ready to go. Time Warp comes down, which is going to do a lot of damage here.
Yeah, but a photon rod charge would have been nice as well. BabyKnight trying to hold here. He's lost so much.
Yeah, he's lost a lot. 4 Stalkers, looks like they're going to fall down too. BabyKnight drops below 100 supply. GG, well played. What a great series between both of these players, despite it being a 3-0 to LucifroN. BabyKnight put up a valiant effort, but one man stands strong at the end of it.
Yeah, I'm surprised BabyKnight was able to maintain himself in this game for so long, given the way some of those games went early on in the game. But chrono boosting lots of probes here. There was a point where, after he sniped the bases, I really thought he would be in a great position. But LucifroN completely flanked this army at 6 o'clock. He was able to kill enough to make sure BabyKnight suffered 2 big losses, especially on the Colossi count, because gate units you don't really care, you can remake very fast, but losing all of your Colossi, that's gonna take time to replace, even with 3 Robo.
Yeah, 3 Robo. Unfortunately for BabyKnight, a good. I call that a good series from BabyKnight. Even game 1, despite losing, he played really well. Great macros, you pointed out. Game 2 was a bit rough, but game 3 was pretty good, I'd say, from BabyKnight. But LucifroN's the one that moves on to face up in the deciding match. 1 best of 5 to determine who is rank 5, who is rank 6. And remember, top 5 of Europe gets to represent them, and Europe and us in Korea for the Season 1 Grand Finals held in just a couple of weeks' time in Korea. An honor to be able to do that, which you have the running for next season.
Yes.
But BabyKnight his tournament has come to an end. A great season for him. A great Season 1, I'd say. BabyKnight, just give a second to BabyKnight here with the amount of games he played beating Stefano, Grubby, Naniwa, Vortex, the players he went through. Today, this weekend, in the round of 8, maybe not have been his weekend, but before that, he proved to us that he was one of the best Protoss and a contender for best Protoss in Europe. But LucifroN's the big daddy today.
Yes, he is, and we still love BabyKnight.
Yes. BabyKnight. But the last Protoss is eliminated now, as we have LucifroN getting ready for a winner's interview, which we're going over to in a couple of moments' time. I'd be interested to hear his thoughts, especially with going up against TLO.
We're going to have some special analysis after, with some special tactics.
Special. Oh, is that a cheeky hint towards some of you guys? All right, so I think that Red Eye is ready in a couple of seconds, but we'll pass it over in a second. What are your thoughts before we go into the interview? LucifroN versus TLO, like.
I know his thoughts. I know that guy's thoughts.
What are yours?
I thought that for TLO it would be very hard for him to today be able to make it versus Happy and have a good mindset, especially after yesterday's game. But he was able to do it, so he definitely will have a good shot here at taking out LucifroN. But LucifroN, he was so impressive during this series. Like as a Protoss, I could feel the pain that BabyKnight was suffering here, and yeah.
All right, so it looks like the winner's interview is ready. Take it away, Red Eye, with LucifroN.
Thanks very much, guys. Yes, with LucifroN, who has made the final for the 5th place decider game. The scoreline says it was straightforward, 3-0, but it wasn't a straightforward game. First game, talk us through it.
First game, I think the early game was really good for me because I made a lot of damage with the Reapers and stopped the attack, so at that point I was really far ahead. But then the few next engages were good for him, so it kind of balanced out. But in the end, I had like a better economy, and I just kept attacking until I won the game.
And then the second game was a bit easier for you. I think there was some mistakes in there from BabyKnight, so game 2 was pretty straightforward. But game 3, he was much harder, much tougher to play against.
Yeah, game 2 was like my strategy was supposed to go that way the game, so that was it. Game 3 was really close. At one point, I really thought I was going to lose that game. But once again, I had a great engagement. I managed to, I sniped his observers and then moved in with the Cloak Ghost so I could EMP all his army. And if you, of course, have to run away, so I could snipe his Colossi. And at that point, when that happens, it's usually win for the Terran.
Yeah, I mean, economy-wise, you were almost out in the third map, and engagement's good from him, and suddenly that would have been 2-1. And so what do you put it down to? What were those perfect engagements? Why were they so perfect?
I think the main point was that I managed to snipe his observers with my backings, and then it's kind of hard to not have a perfect engagement because he cannot fight, he has to run, and you can just EMP everything. But yeah, that last game, my last attack was kind of all in. If that attack didn't win the game, I would have lost.
Okay, good to hear. Let's talk about the competition itself. Yesterday, you were 2 up, you were 2-0 up, you were 10-0 in the tournament at that point, and then you lost 3 straight games to 4GG. I know that you were very disappointed yesterday to go out in that way. How did you bounce back and come into this with a full mental approach?
Yeah, well, I was really angry with myself after losing to 4GG because I just chose the wrong strategies for game 3 and 4, and then lost game 5 because of not having a supply depot in my main. So that, small things that make you lose, that makes me extremely angry. But then I reminded myself that I still can go to Korea, that I just have to win today. So stopped caring about it and just thought about today.
Okay. And in terms of, I know that your brother's still finishing schoolwork, and he isn't particularly practicing full time, but you have stopped and you have played full time for the last few months. What difference has it made for you?
Well, not that much, except that I don't have to go to university, of course, so I have more time, not only for StarCraft, but just more free time in general, because when I had to do both things, it was pretty much the only 2 things I could do. So now I have a bit more of free time, and in general, I'm way more relaxed than before.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't want to say it before you said that, but you do seem less tense now. You seem to be enjoying the game more. Yeah,
before, I think it's impossible to do both things. When I was playing, I was thinking about stuff I had to do for university. When I was in university, I thought I should be practicing for this tournament, and overall it's really stressing. And right now, for the last months, I've been feeling way better.
Okay, final question. TLO in the 5th place decider game. I'm not even going to ask you how much it would mean to you to go to Korea for the season. I know it would mean the world to you, but how do you approach the TLO game?
I don't know, it's really hard. We've played a lot on ladder, so I'm kind of familiar with his style. But
does he even have a style? Isn't his style just totally random?
Sorry?
Is his style just random?
At first, when I played him, I was not understanding what he was doing, but after some games, I figured out certain things. So, yeah, I don't know. It's 50-50 in ladder. So I don't know. I think I can beat him, but it's not going to be easy.
Okay. Well, good luck in that final. You are going to go through to play for the final place in Korea, and you can see that game coming next. It's LucifroN versus TLO. But before we get there, we've got some analysis breakdown from that game from Todd.
Welcome back to the Analysis channel, guys. I'm joined by the man, the legend, Whitera. How are you doing?
Hello, hello. I'm feeling very good myself, and between making cocktails, join to you and make some analysis series.
All right. There was. Can you talk to us a little bit about the series here? What do you think went wrong for BabyKnight? How would you have played this differently?
You know, it's totally very hard play against good Terran
Yes.
if you in the same level, play in same level. We can see how perfect LucifroN use mid-vax drops,
Yes.
and all times take pressure on Protoss. And BabyKnight, when he try to leave base, he immediately miss some drops. But my favorite moments in all these three series from Protoss side, it's when he beat all Terran army near third base, but still it's not help take this game.
Okay, I think there was a moment you wanted to talk about a little bit, so we can go into the replay here.
Yeah.
Can you tell us exactly what you think happened here and?
Oh yeah,
Sure.
this is a classic situation when Terran try make push
Classic
on,
situation.
Yeah, and PvT. Terran try make push on third base with main army, and same time double drops, hiding double drops.
Yes.
And of course, Protoss didn't know if Terran take all army close each other. Or
He didn't know how big the drop in the
yes,
main would be.
yeah, and it's very hard to make decision. If you too much split army,
Yes.
you just lose main battle.
You need to split perfectly, and that's very difficult. So I think we can play a little bit, then you can tell us through what you think happened and what you think would have been better or worse for either player.
It's very good moment to use Phoenix for scouting coming drops, killing Nexus. And here immediately come attack, but too big army and kill all Marauders and Mariners, like maybe 30 supply drops.
Yeah. But how do you think he could have defended better in the main? Because every time he lost the Nexus.
If he keep one Templars and maybe 7 Zealots more at
Just
base,
that?
yeah, he just use feedback, two
Okay.
feedbacks Medivacs, and 8 Zealots can protect in drops.
All
So
right.
it's my, but we in continue, like after maybe several minutes, we can see like close situation when Terran attack with Medivacs, use double scan. You can continue.
When you see a scan,
Okay,
you know,
yeah, you can now pause. Yes, you see Terran a little bit. Yeah, used to scan, didn't see Protoss army,
yeah.
and that's exactly what happened with Terran army when he didn't know Protoss position.
He
used Stimpack and no army, easy kill Nexus,
Yeah.
free Nexus. But here he gets
Not so easy.
amazing trap, and this is so perfect, like a Protoss, and I love so this moment he lose maybe 80 supply and not kill any single units from Protoss side. But even after this lose, BabyKnight can go and continue attack because like drop flying around.
you think you
maps.
should attack after this? After you
See,
kill this much,
Yeah,
you should
he
try to go for
showed
attack?
like continue attack, try make his best because he already behind on minerals behind. Maybe try find some luck in attack.
Some luck, okay.
Yes. Because he have so many Templars with full energy, good army composition, and he showed, I think, make more pressure.
Do you have some special tactics on Star Station versus Terran? You have
Only
lots.
proxy Oracle and
Oracle? Proxy
yes.
Oracle? Okay.
Because it's too hard now play with Terran.
Okay.
If Terran didn't expect it, it can work very well.
All right. Well, thank you. Can you make me a milkshake later?
Yeah, of course. You try yesterday. You not
right.
leave my bar table.
Your milkshakes are very good, man.
I take care about it. Maybe if you drink too many milk cocktail, you be too fat.
Okay, that's too late for that. Anyway, we're going to be passing it over to Red Eye and the Hubner over at the social media desk. Take it away, Red Eye.
Thank you very much, Todd and Whitera, for some analysis there. Fantastic. The milkshake man is back, and trust me, his milkshakes are very good. I tried one yesterday, not one on camera, which wasn't particularly nice. Anyway, I'm with the Hubner now. He's been monitoring your social media all day long and will continue to do so until we unchain him from the wall. He's also been looking at the predictions as well. If we show you the predictions right now, because they've changed a little bit. If you haven't been joining in, you've still got the chance to do some predictions at wcs.esl.eu. And right now on the predictions, you can see at the top of the table, there are only 2 players left who have a 100% correct bet so far. Camille and Timu are the last two standing with 260 points. The winner of this competition will get a limited edition signed collector's edition of StarCraft 2 Hull of the Swarm and a t-shirt signed by all the players and a mousepad signed by all the players of the round of 8 as well. So really cool prizes. We've also got, I don't know if you can change that over now, Hubner, to what... So one of the other things that we like about the WCS is that you guys do lots of pictures out there. Yeah, good one, guys. That's very funny, Hubner. Okay. So, Hubner, you're going to throw a challenge down to do something better than that. So what have they got to do? What pictures have they got to come up with?
Well, I mean, we see you here doing what you do in your free time, right? So I think people should come up with other things they assume you actually do in your free time.
Yeah, okay. I'm not quite so convinced myself, but whatever. I think you should pick some players or maybe the casters or something and come up with your best GIFs. And yes, I said GIFs, not GIFs, because that's what we do here in Europe as well. So yeah, send us your favourite photographs via @StarCraft or via @ESLTV, and make sure you use the hashtag #WCS. The funnier, the better. Talking of funny, here's something else fun for you. We'll be right back with TLO versus LucifroN.
If I see Jar Jar Binks, a lot of people are gonna hate me.
Jar Jar Binks, no, I'm kidding.
I don't watch stuff. Actually, Darth Maul was pretty cool.
It's Obi-Wan, even though it's boring.
Maybe Darth Vader.
Darth Vader.
Yoda, maybe?
Yoda. No? He's not from there?